All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us for AI job search skills for landing your next role. Join us for the AI Perplexity Workshop for Job Search, created by Marti Konstant, a workplace futurist and AI trainer who integrates AI into everyday tasks. She will introduce and help you learn practical uses of AI in your job search. Topics include research and writing that will help you uncover job opportunities, elevate your skills, and do networking in a way that is less overwhelming. And while not required, in advance of the webinar, it was suggested you sign up for the free version of Perplexity, and I'll put the link in the chat for anyone who hasn't done that yet. And again, it's optional. So Marti Konstant is a workplace futurist and the best-selling author of Activate Your Agile Career. Marti has an MBA from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business and is a former technology executive that has worked in Silicon Valley. As a top career influencer, she has been featured in media outlets such as NBC Chicago, Forbes, and the Muse, and has worked in companies like Samsung, Dow Jones, and Apple. And I again want to thank the Friends of the Library for their sponsorship. So, Marti, look at this. All 95 of us who are watching live and the many more that will watch the recording. Let's give a big virtual round of applause to Marti for joining us this morning. And Marti, you can take it away. Thanks so much.
Welcome. 8 degrees in Chicago. I know it's 9 degrees. Feels like -14, right? Before we start today, if you can share your industry with me in the chat, whether maybe not your role, but just your industry, food and beverage, construction, project management, that kind of thing. That would be great. So, okay, so now I'm seeing some job titles, education, pharmacy, higher ed, tourism, financial services, real estate. This is great. This will be helpful for some of the examples I'm going to be sharing with you. Awesome. I love when the chat is going that fast. So I'm going to pull up before I start also, I am going to tell you what this session is and what it is not. We're going to work with one tool to help you research job openings, recruiter possibilities, knowing how to interview prep, things like that, research. We're not going to be writing cover letters. We're not going to be doing the kind of writing that we do in ChatGPT in general. So Perplexity is a very special tool. And if you haven't used it, we recommended that you sign up for the free version of it. You can follow along. I find out that usually 20 to 30% of you follow along and the rest of you just want to get a few tips. Totally fine. So I'm going to do a 5-minute setup here. And then we're going to get right into the exercises that you can follow along. The guides that Robert Hayes is one of the best producers in the industry, by the way, on Zoom. So you're very fortunate to have him. So we're going to do a little warm up here. So AI game day, this is true or false. And you could put true or false in the chat. You can put T or M. That is how you can follow along and I can know what you think. Just a couple of these. There's no really right answers because some of these answers might shift a little bit depending on, what the circumstances are. You can write cover letters by copying content directly from ChatGPT. True or false? Put in a T or an F into the okay, so we have about 50-50. So the answer is, and this is my recommendation, the answer is it's always a good idea to make content your own. So if you want to use ChatGPT, to inspire you or to get a quick start for you, go ahead and do that. You can put in content from the job description. You can do all that, but make it your own. Never copy it directly from the thing. And I know people are doing all different things today. So whatever, whatever you do, you do you. You can use AI versions of you on LinkedIn. When I'm saying AI versions, pictures of you that are just as good or better than your current picture. True or false? So I'm saying some truths. I'm saying some falses. And this is what it is on all these questions. And 6 months ago, I would say, no, you can't really use AI pictures of yourself. But I've seen some really cool things on Flux. You've seen lots of great stuff on probably your Facebook accounts, streams. People are doing some really great stuff, but work with it and edit it and take care of it. Make sure that it looks like you. Generally speaking, I would say use your own picture. AI requires human oversight in the workplace. So again, it gets back to that cut and paste. You need to have a human in the loop, true or false. Oh, this is where everyone is saying true. So that one's easy. AI is the same as automation, true or false? False, false, false. So these two are very clear cut. It's not the same as automation. It actually does, it's a prediction engine of what the next word is going to be like. So it's not really the same as automation, although the two go hand in hand. AI eliminates more jobs than will be created. Okay, we got some trues and falses. So the World Economic Forum put out a report. They put out an exhaustive jobs report like every 2 years, and it flip-flops. 1 year they're creating more, and then the last time they did it in 2023, there was less. The one that just came out says that they're creating more jobs. So it just depends, and it depends on who you are and what your area of expertise is. It really just depends on you, not so much on what the stats are anyway. AI will not replace you. A person using AI will. True or false? This is not a unique quote by me. About 25 to 50 people have said this. True, true, true. So that one's pretty clear cut. AI will enhance your work. True or false? Okay, true. We are all on the same page on that. And that is so true. And that is why it is important. Using AI in the workplace was mysterious and special 2 years ago. It is old news now. It's been around. AI hallucinates. This is the last one. True or false? And we all agree on this one. True. So this is why you should never cut and paste anything that is written, because AI, LLMs, learning language models, they are a type of prediction engine. And it's like, what is the probability that this word will come next in this sentence? And so they can sometimes make things up from your perspective. So it's always a good idea to edit. This is the question. Do you speak AI? This particular image was AI generated. So just about everything I do with my presentations uses some type of AI or things on Canva. Speak AI for your job search and interviews. Ethan Malik, who is a fantastic subject matter expert and professor, the relevance rules. Always invite AI to the table on every project if it's applicable to you. Be the human in the loop. Always have oversight. Treat AI like a person, but tell it what kind of person it is. If you want it to act like a marketing analyst and you want that context in what you're putting in something like ChatGPT, tell them what kind of person they are. But that's how you have conversational. And assume that this is the worst that AI will ever be. It's getting better and better. I used it on day one in November of 2022. Been using it every day since, and it is amazing. I had to redo my presentation this week because of this. This is the levels of AI. Chatbots, AI with conversational knowledge. That's where we're at now. Look at all the levels that are following. You might have heard about things like agents. That's happening, but that's still in more of the beta phase. It's doing a pretty good job. Reasoning. ChatGPT has a reasoning model, but it's not the model that most people use. AI can aid in invention. Organizations, AI can do the work of an organization. Right now, we've got to be the human in the loop, and we've got to work with AI as an enhancement. So I call it the AI enhanced worker, amplifies your productivity. Everyone can save between 30 minutes and 4 hours a day. It's the AI of everything. 3 ways to use AI at work or in your job search. Ask questions like you do on ChatGPT. We're going to be talking Perplexity today. Perplexity is augmenting search. So you can ask questions, you can organize content from others, and you can query your own content. You can upload it. There's more ways you can use AI, but those are the main things. Concept of a chained prompt. You can use a structured prompt and write everything that you want AI to do for you in one run-on sentence or a series of bullet points. Or you can start by asking one question, asking another question, asking another question, getting deeper into it. When you're in a session, whether it's Perplexity or any other LLM, it will remember the very first question. So contextually, things are going to make sense. We have 99% Perplexity today. I do reference ChatGPT as I have been. Think of Perplexity as an answer engine. It takes all of everything that exists online right now, and when you ask it a question, it will funnel everything it can grab and give you one answer with bullet points with some reference materials. It's not going to give you 5,000 results, and it's pretty good. And it gives you all the sources. And it's not like data from 2023. It is real-time data. I used it recently to plan a vacation, and it knew everything about the Japanese train stations and what trains I should get on and what time they show up, because it grabs everything from the internet. ChatGPT, most people have been using that. It's conversational AI, and it does a lot with writing, and it's super creative. It also does multimodal with image generation and things like that. I mentioned the word predictive engine. When it is constructing a sentence, it predicts what the next word is going to be. That's why sometimes it hallucinates. We think we're having a real conversation, and it is, we do call it conversation, but it is predictive. So always verify. All right, going to escape from that. So I'm going to now jump in to the presentation part of how does Perplexity work, and how might we ask it some of the questions. Those of you who are following along and you want to copy and paste some of these prompts today, do this on the side. If you have questions along the way, so I just want to offer this. Rita puts this in the thing. If you have a LinkedIn professional, it's offering Perplexity for a year. Really smart. Also, LinkedIn and 1,000 other places has cool AI stuff. We're not talking about that today. So that's that. Okay, so the very first question, or the very first prompt that I put in on the handout, one of the best ways, and I'm not doing this from scratch because I want to get this done quickly. So I have these pre-populated here. So I typed in this question: some of you don't know how to use Perplexity. So ask it, how do I use you? Can you explain 5 ways I can use Perplexity in my job search, especially its research usefulness? You don't have to put research usefulness. You could say, explain 10 ways, explain how I can use Perplexity, period. It will serve up a couple videos on the side. It will serve up sources here, how to use Perplexity AI as an interview coach. That would be really cool. But it doesn't give you 1,000 results. It gives you very narrowly focused sources that they used in part to create this answer. So if I wanted to say, how can I use this for job search? This is some ways that I can use it. And I thought, okay, this is where we're going to start. Company research, job market insights, another type of research, resume optimization, interview preparation, skill development and upskilling. We're not going to do all of these. And then I thought, well, that's not enough. I should have said 10 ways. So please offer 3 more ways to use Perplexity in my job search, especially its research capabilities. And it says, okay, you want more? It gave me market analysis again, salary research and negotiation preparation. That's a new one. Company culture and work environment insights. And then I just went further. Again, when I talk about a chained prompt, this is how the human brain works. We have questions. I say, please highlight popular YouTube videos about how to use Perplexity in the job search. You know what I found out? There's not a ton of them. There's a ton of them in basic tutorials. This is where you go back to Google and you go through their vast engine, and they may have 5 to 10 of them. I went through these. Perplexity did not serve up job search tutorials. I found a really cool job search tutorial, not on Perplexity, but using one of the other LLMs. So you can just, go on and ask more questions. So that's one thing that you can do in the area that I call the category of research. So that's where we start. So how do we use the system? So then, that was new. So then it's like, okay, we can do all that, but how do I construct these prompts, Marty? How do I do this? I construct prompts in a certain way. Can you help me think about how I can construct other prompts? So you can do this in ChatGPT as well. You can say, help me construct 20 prompts to get at a certain thing because I don't know how to write these prompts. So it gave me, for resume and cover letter optimization, it says you can upload, see this little plus sign right here? You can upload a cover letter. You can upload your CV. You can upload an informational document. What you can't do is you can't offer a URL. So it says, analyze this job description for a certain job title and suggest key skills and qualifications I should highlight in my resume. It gives very good advice and recommendations here. This is like using a coach of sorts. Make it ATS friendly. I thought that one was pretty cool. Generate a cover letter template for this position. And when I say do this, edit it to make it your own, put some of your own personality into it. Job market research. What are the top 10 companies hiring? Thought, well, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Provide an overview of the current job market trends for an industry. Remember, I asked about industries. We're going to talk about that. List the most common interview questions for a construction project manager, and suggest effective ways to answer them. So you can get like the top 10 questions. LinkedIn does this too, but you'll get a different perspective from this format. Provide examples of accomplishment stories I can use in a star format. It knows everything about the job search. What are some insightful questions I can ask to interview for a position? Add a company name if you want to work for something like HubSpot. Um, Identify the 5 in-demand skills in 2025 and suggest resources to learn them. You can get those top skills. I think the World Economic Forum Jobs Report gave you the top 20 skills. You can get that report and download it today. Networking, personal branding. So it goes on and on. And then I say, please create 3 prompts to conduct industry research. So remember, we had industry research as one of these. So I just went on top of this, and here's 3. Analyze the current state of a particular industry, including key players, market size, growth trends, and major challenges faced by the companies. So makes me want to use one of these prompts. So I'm going to open it up to someone in chat. Um, I tested one in the food manufacturing industry, but I'm going to ask to make it interactive so it's more relevant to you. I'm going to take one of your industries, but this is how it works. Provide the latest trends, emerging technologies, and market dynamics. So you want to be really smart in the interview. So this is interview prep. This is researching the market. You've got, all really great referenceable assets here. You can go, I'm not going to go into all of them right now, because if I pulled this up, it's going to pull up another tab. But it goes into, it gets you to food digital. I wouldn't have gotten there because Google would have given me 20,000 results in my result set, and I wouldn't have found this one that is highly relevant to me. And notice it says 2025. I put 2025 in my headline. I didn't want 2023. So here it is. Here's the top trends. And I don't know, with my business background, I think this is pretty spot on for for a lot of industries. Artificial intelligence and automation, that's nothing new. Advanced food processing techniques, 3D printing and food production, that's kind of interesting. Biotechnology and precision fermentation, market trends, plant-based and alternative proteins, etc. So I'm going to take one of yours. I'm going to say, I remember from looking at all of so I can ask a follow-up question. And I'm going to put in one of the industries that one of you entered earlier, pharmaceutical industry. So big pharma, that kind of thing. It could be in, we could get real specific. We could say product development, we could say marketing, but we're just going to say pharmaceutical industry right now. So here we go. I'm trying to make the type as big as I can so that you can all see this. Let me see if I can make it even bigger. So there's a lot of things: personalized nutrition, health and wellness focus, carbon footprint reduction. So this has interview prep written all over it. Or if you're using transferable skills to move to something else, this has a lot of real-time stuff that was available today in the market. This is not from before. They will reference some old documents that are relevant. Flavor innovation. So pretty robust. Okay. And there you have it. And then at the bottom, they always have questions. What are the latest advancements in personalized medicine and precision therapy? Well, as a researcher, I may go into this and say, I want to click on this one. In preparation for this, I'm in the pro version. I tested this in the regular version as well. And it's pretty darn close. And just for the sake of keeping, this presentation tight, I'm not going to toggle back and forth, but you can be confident that you're going to get tons of data. You're going to get the sources and you're going to get these related questions. And you can see how a session like this could be pretty awesome. Does anybody have any questions that we'd like to unmute the mic for before I go on to the next one? Or do you want me just to keep going?
Let's see, I'm keeping an eye on the chat. Joanne asks, which LLM are you using in Pro?
Perplexity has its own engine. So for instance, Google Notebook LM uses Gemini 1.5. ChatGPT uses the LLM 4.0, not 4.0, 4.0. So this is Perplexity. They don't have a number associated with it. It's a Perplexity LLM.
And I'm just resending the handout for those who didn't get it before. Christine, and I know you wanted to keep things tight, so some of these we could probably ask after the fact. Christine asks, what do you like about Perplexity versus Chat GPT?
I use them for different things. I would use ChatGPT to improve my resume. I would use it to help me on writing projects. I would use it to help me create images. I would use it if I get into a certain place and I want to have them say, I've got this interview coming up. What ideas do you have for me, ChatGPT, about how I could stand out with my brand? How I can differentiate myself in this interview? I would use ChatGPT. That's a simple answer.
Mark says you can get free Perplexity Pro if you are an Xfinity customer.
Awesome. So they're doing a lot of stuff like that. So that's great. I would do Pro. I've used both. I've used the regular and I've used Pro. They're very, very similar. So you can do a lot of the same things. So I'm going to get on to one of the other things that, great questions. Do I favor ChatGPT over Gemini? I use them for different reasons. I love ChatGPT. I am using Google Notebook LM powered by Gemini, and I am just in love. So it's a multimodal aspect of Gemini, and you could use it specifically for the job search. So I use different things. I even use Claude, but I think if I had to use my two favorite tools, it's Perplexity and ChatGPT. That's just my preference. And then of course I use different ones for image generation. So you might say, well, I want to find out what the job openings are. Please provide job openings in the data center construction industry for project managers. Again, there are numerous job openings. These are all current, guys. These are current. These are not from 2 months ago or 3 months ago. Now, these are big companies. If you wanted to constrain this question and say, I only want SMBs, small and medium businesses, and I only want regional, you can specify that. For the sake of the example, I did not ask for what the common requirements were for these roles, but it said this is what they added. So this is what a question and answer engine like Perplexity does. It says, you might be thinking of this. At the end of it, it says, you may want to answer these questions. Now, these salary ranges, I would say, they grab the data from online. So they grab averages. I wouldn't trust the data on the salary as well, but it's a place to start. I think there are other places you can get this kind of thing. This comes directly from ZipRecruiter. So if you trust ZipRecruiter for referencing the salary range, have at it. And then what are the top companies hiring for data? What are the top companies hiring? We could do that. I do have some other questions because here's where my brain goes. Please provide job openings in this industry. So that did the same. I think this was when I was experimenting between pro and regular. I think this was, well, it says pro search, but I did one regular. I did one. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to throw in a new question. Okay, a new question is this. Okay, say you want to look at a particular company. In this case, it's Workday. It's we're 30 minutes in. Workday HCM, including its history, product, services, company culture, recent news developments, competitors, and key executives. I wanted everything. And so here were the answers. And this I used Perplexity Regular. I didn't use Perplexity Pro because it gave me the sources and it didn't give me the sample the sample prompts that it normally puts up there. So here's using Perplexity Regular, history and overview, products and services. And it's pulling this all from different areas, mainly the website, some articles. It tells you as of January 2025, now supports over 30,000 companies. It gives you the competitors with their market share. Kind of a nice, cool thing there. Key executives, they were not provided with it. And then I did with regular. Now I toggled over to pro, gave the same question to see if it would be different. And it's modestly different. I think it might have given me, it didn't give me the market percentage. It gave me the key executives. So to me, it's not appreciably different than the other. It did give, you could get these executives any other way. And then as a curious person, I said, what are Workday's key competitive challenges in 2025? So you could answer any question you want about this. And economic headwinds, fierce competition, cash flow profitability concerns, operating cash flow fell from 406 million from 451 million year over year. Really important information to know. Government contract challenges, user experience and interface. And then you could go to any of these other questions. I'm going to get out of some of these. And so we got the prompts, we got some additional research. Okay, so we did the emergency trends. And then you might say, well, I want to get specific. I'm interviewing, and so I want to find out what I can do. I already did that one, sorry. What information could I provide during my interview regarding new ideas for marketing seltzer and sparkling beverage products? I just made this up because it was food and beverage based on the industry information provided. And I think this is where it came up. These are some of the extra top of mind information that may have been duplicative, augmented reality, flavor innovation. So we talked about that. So it's some of the same things. To put in a new one. We did context within the industry. We did relevant organizations. I'm going to put in a I'm going to put in a brand new question. Please provide the top 10 recruiters Please provide the top 10 recruiters in the food and beverage industry. So that's kind of interesting, but it doesn't give me people. Then I might say, can you identify individuals in charge of recruitment at these companies? And give me their LinkedIn profiles. I did or instead of, but okay, so it gave me a name, Trevor Y, because on their LinkedIn profile, they probably don't have it listed based on my connections, HR. So it has a LinkedIn. So this becomes useful. I actually went in yesterday and asked for phone numbers. It wouldn't give me the phone numbers, but it gave me the LinkedIn profiles, which I think is pretty awesome. A question came in that I'm going to address right now. Can AI make a list of companies in my field that are within, let's say, a 20-minute drive from my home? You could probably try that, Oksana. You could probably try getting very specific. I find if you get too narrow, you might get far less, but I would absolutely experiment with that. Experiment like crazy. Let me see. Okay, so Art says, I see you also use please. I just use please because that's me. The jury's still out on whether it makes a difference. I figure even if there's a modest chance that it would make a difference, I want the system to know, the LLM to know me, that I use terminology in that way, because it does build a history on you. But I wouldn't worry if you don't use the word please. Okay. On this one, I'm going to say they provided 9. Can you provide 10 more? Now, they gave them to me. These are probably their top recruiters, but I'm probing. I'm going, will there be? It seems like they only gave me the ones that they already gave me. So you'll see sometimes you're not going to get it, but there have been other times when I've said provide 10 more, I've actually gotten 10 more. I think if I asked for 10 more recruitment agencies or for 5 more recruitment agencies, I would get more names. So again, this comes down to what can you learn here? This is about a series of chained prompts. A chained prompt is I ask one question, I ask a deeper question, I ask another question. If you don't like what you got, or if you just say, could you give me the market share on each of those? You can go back and do that. You can get any detail you want, and it can be in this same string. The caveat there is the system doesn't like it if you go too deep on one discussion thread. You're using up more of your time with them, and it's not as effective. And I don't know if I'm using the right words here, but I've been coached to not do that. So now we're on to, okay, we've looked at recruiters, we've looked at how to use Perplexity, we've looked at what research on your industry. What other questions? I've got a question here. What other questions might you want to ask? Does anyone have a question on their industry that they would like posed that we could use as a demo? If you don't, I have other stuff to go into because we don't have a lot of time left. So if you do have that, so I'm going to go right into it. So off to the back side, if you have any specific questions, please put them in there. Okay. All right, so this one is a resume optimization one. And what I did is you can upload, see this plus sign down at the bottom here? You can upload a resume, you can upload a job description as reference things. And Perplexity will reference that and tell you, you can do that in ChatGPT as well. And you can ask them how, please suggest improvements to make and make it more specific to the ATM. Review my resume for the position of VP of Marketing. And do you see the source here? I uploaded the sample resume. Suggest improvements to make it more ATS friendly. I'm not a resume writer, but I know in the ATS, there's certain categories they'd like you to cover. You could figure that out on your own, but you could actually ask the system. So it says you can do the format, use a clean, simple format without complex layouts or graphics. We all know that, right? Don't make it funky, make it clean. Stick to standard sections like professional experience, education, skills. So it's giving me advice. Reframe your operational achievements in terms of their impact on customer experience. So it's giving me, because I'm going from an operations role to a marketing leadership role, it's actually looking at my resume and saying, well, wait a minute, you've got an operations resume, you want to go to VP of Marketing. Okay, we want you to highlight transferable skills. This is what you can do. Reframe your experience. And you can go really deep on this. And then it says, please reference the job description. So I put the job description in there as well, and advise the changes for my resume. So if I'm going and I've worked, say I even worked for McKinsey, I had like all kinds of consulting experience and like really great operations experience for companies. And I'm really smart, but I want to use it for a strategic marketing role. Based on the job description, here's some changes to consider. You need to emphasize your product management experience. How can you reframe your product development advice and all that into another way? Your experience, it gets into the resume. Your experience at Cruise and Dropbox. Emphasize product owner responsibilities. Showcase technology and innovation skills. So it's actually taking everything, and you can actually ask it to I asked it to rewrite the resume. I don't. There's LinkedIn has this. There's lots of stuff. This is not a resume writing, but it just gave me some. I don't like this thing about 15 years of experience, but anyway, it gives me some pretty smart things, core competencies, professional experience. It does stuff like that. So it's taking my operations, it's changing it to product strategy and roadmap development. That's marketing speak. So it's taking operations and transferring it automatically without my even having to think about it. Innovation and emerging technology integration, all very good. Data-driven decision making. So it's taking all the key words that I'm going to need as a marketing exec. And it's just, it takes this. And then you can go forward. Now, just to take the best use of our time here, since we have talked about ChatGPT a little bit, and people have said, if you're going to get help writing your resume, and you just want to, improve content, I would suggest doing this. Uploading the same documents. Okay. Lots of stuff here. So I uploaded, again, similar to Perplexity. It's got this little paperclip at the bottom here. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Paperclip at the bottom here, and you can attach. So I put an about section. I did a sample resume. You could put in a job description. So I'm attaching two documents, my LinkedIn about section and my current resume. I'm switching from an operations role to a senior marketing role at a SaaS company. Can you help me improve this resume for this type of role? Make those improvements. So it says, refine your professional summary to emphasize marketing specific. Again, similar to Perplexity, it's telling me why I should do this. And then it did this. This is why I like ChatGPT. It did this without me even asking. It said, before it looked like this. After, it could look like this. Right? So this is what it was before. This is after. And the areas of expertise, update the areas to reflect your skills more prominently. Again, see what it did here, similar to Perplexity. It took marketing-esque important keywords that were extracted from the experience that I had in my operations and consulting roles. Because I've actually, as a consultant, I actually worked with all the different functional areas, not me, just this is a sample resume. So after you take this, after strategic marketing planning, again, SEO, the ATS, things like that, voice of the customer, and they're using all of the current terminology of today. They're looking at the current jobs report, right? That I would say Perplexity would be doing that. ChatGPT might not be looking at the current day because they have a little bit of lag time in their data, but you can feed it to it. You can feed the information to it. So it goes into, it actually took the experience. So this is an experience, regularly did this. And then after, do this. Like a before and after. Before and after. I loved what they did here. Again, ChatGPT is super, super creative. Incorporating the sample phrases, versatile skill set. Take these phrases and use them where applicable. These adjustments will align your resume with the requirements. Revise, tailor job descriptions, incorporate insights. And then it even says, I can make these directly to your resume. And I've done a lot of experimentation. It's never a resume exactly the way that I want it. It's never exactly like the way that a resume writer would do it. So here's the job description. Please provide recommendations of how I can position myself. And then it gave me talking points, right? So I said, I want 15 talking points. I want to be really smart and I want to have this stuff ready to go in the job description. And there you go. Technology utilization. It's a type of coaching. It's a type of coaching in this back and forth. Interview preparation tips. Again, it gives me extra information. So and then it says, please give me 10 talking points that reference specifics in my resume and background. So I dig in deeper because it's just not enough. I'm more curious. Use statements, like go into my resume, I'm telling them, and say, when I was a leader at Vocera, I did this, or while leading teams, I was able to do this. And I'm thinking, okay, I would like them to help me with these. So they go in and they say, well, working at Cruise, I regularly presented strategic recommendations to C-level executives, aligning our initiatives with the company's commercial goals and ensuring all stakeholders were informed and aligned. Now, it's a little generic. You can customize that. So it actually went in and customized it for me. And then it gave me additional recommendations. And then I asked it, let's conduct a mock interview for a VP of marketing role for a SaaS company based on my background, give me 5 sample questions, sample answers. I'm not going to go into this, but can you describe, this is like, again, you can get all this stuff on LinkedIn. Describe a time when you successfully aligned. This gets specific. I think LinkedIn might be a little bit more generic, but it gets specific. And then it gives you answers, ways that you could answer this. And then it's not really a mock interview, right? It's just giving you Q&A. So you could take this one step further, and you can say, can we do this again with you posing as the interviewer? Please ask me 1 to 2 questions. Allow me to answer the question and then give me feedback on my answer. Can you do that? Absolutely, we can do that. So I'm talking to this ChatGPT like they're my best friend. So it gave me a question. And then I put in an answer. And then it gives me feedback on the answer, what you did well, clear context, alignment of strategy, areas for improvement, revised example answer, gave me a whole suggestion of how I might pitch this, add specific actions, use the STAR method. Again, I just did this, what you did well, collaborative approach. So I did 2 questions. So I actually had to answer the question. You could answer it with a ChatGPT thing if you wanted to. So that was for the marketing role. And then there was just one last thing I wanted to show you. And then I'm going to give you the opportunity to get some other downloads if you want online. This might have been the same thing. Okay, so that's just a rendition of that. So what I wanted to do here is go back to this and I have 5 additional documents that you can, if you just give me, it's just happy face, sad face, medium sad face. It takes like 60 seconds, 30 seconds. You can get 5 bonus materials here. So you can scan the QR code and do it that way, or just, and if you wanted to just do the HTTPS one, you'd have to type in the word bonus. So I wanted to give you the opportunity, and I'm going to give this feedback then to Robert so that he can know, because sometimes in addition to the sad face, happy face, there's just one open-ended question at the end of it that says, you know, do you have suggestions? What did you like? What didn't you like? But it's not a lot of content. Security, there's on ChatGPT, you can Google it because I don't have that's another session. But you can prevent any of these systems from using your data. ChatGPT defaults to it using your data to train. You have to go in and change it. I believe Perplexity defaults to not using your data, but just use I did this a while ago on all my systems. I do not allow any of these systems to use my data for training. If you're uploading your resume, okay, so good point, Jessica. If you're uploading your resume, genericize it. When I uploaded the resume, I genericized that generic resume. I didn't want it to be specific to any individual. I put in some company names, but because I just wanted to, make it real, but that's a fake resume. But if it's your resume, yeah, protect it. I would. The last one, as we say goodbye, this is just like a shiny new object. There is if you look up, I believe the guy's name is Tariq, Tariq on careers. Tariq on careers, YouTube video. He does something, Notebook LM is a game changer for careers. And he does a 26-minute video that I find really charming. He's got a British accent, really super fun. But basically, you're able to go into the system and load up as many documents as you want, and then get a study guide or a briefing doc on everything. So if you're preparing for, I did this with AI and HCM. So if you're preparing for this is a quiz and a study guide. It put together a quiz and a study guide with an answer key for like everything on all the stuff that I put in. And you could put in URLs, unlike all the other LLMs. You could put in a complete URL, but you got to do it by the page. So if you're going onto a website, you have to do it page by page by page. I concentrated on AI on this particular one, so that's why I got it. I asked a specific question based on the provided job description and the key skills outlined in our previous conversation. Here's some areas you might want to enhance. So this is like similar, they call this multimodal. You can even go in and create a conversation between two people on podcast format. We don't have time to do that, but go to Tariq on careers on YouTube videos. I believe it's an October 24 video, and it will just blow your mind of what you could load. You could load up 20 documents here, and you could do this in your job. You want to be prepared for a pitch, and then so that is it, and that is our time exactly at 10:30. I just wanted to thank all of you for your participation, and connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to support you. I don't do the business of career coaching or anything like that, but I have a ton of stuff on my LinkedIn profile because I love AI and I love career branding, that kind of stuff. So thank you for the thanks. Tariq, can you state Tariq? Okay, Maxwell put in Tariq's YouTube channel. Again, I'll promote anybody that will help you in your job search.
So folks, let's give Marti a big virtual round of applause for a great presentation. Look for an email with the recording from me later today. Next Wednesday, the 29th at 9:30, we have Elizabeth Gross, formerly of Monster.com. She's now the owner of Job Search Divas, and she'll be giving a presentation on LinkedIn. So that's what's coming next week. Marti, great job as usual. I'll be following up with you for sure. And folks, please give Marti a follow on LinkedIn, okay? And then let me see here. I want to get the right date. On Wednesday, February 5th, We're back with our 50 plus job seekers networking group. So the networking group is separate from the speaker series, but the 50 plus job seekers networking group meets 2 weeks from today at 9:30. And that one is Mastermind, Your Age is Your Edge. And that, as always, is run by Debbie Hope, a experienced executive career coach who is excellent. So that's what's coming up over the next 2 weeks. Look for an email from me later today with all that information and more. Thanks so much, Marty. Enjoy the cold.
Okay, you too.
Right, bye-bye.
One. Bye.